John Adams, the CEO of Baker's Haven, had always prided himself on building a successful business. What started as a humble bakery in the heart of the city had blossomed into a thriving chain of 50 locations across the state. But over time, John had become disconnected from the daily operations. His focus shifted to meetings, financial reports, and investor concerns, leaving the people who built his business in the background. For months, John had heard rumors of growing problems in the bakeries: low employee morale, constant turnover, and an uptick in customer complaints. On paper, everything seemed fine. The reports from his management team painted a rosy picture, but something felt off. John decided it was time to see for himself. Frustrated by secondhand information, John went undercover at one of his busiest locations. He shaved his beard, put on glasses, and wore a black Baker's Haven apron, cap, and black boots to blend in. He didn't want to be recognized as the CEO. John arrived at the bakery early in the morning, blending into the bustling environment. The team was already working hard, preparing pastries and managing the incoming orders. The store manager, Tom, a gruff, no-nonsense man, quickly handed John off to Mike, a young, exhausted employee, to show him the ropes. Mike, in his early 20s, wore the standard Baker's Haven apron, his hands red and cracked from working with dough all day. He gave John a tired smile. "It's not too hard, just keep up," Mike said, but the exhaustion was clear in his voice. As the morning rush hit, the bakery became chaotic. Customers were lined up and orders piled up quickly. Tom spent most of his time behind the counter, barking orders at the employees, but never lifting a finger to help. Mike, on the other hand, was running all over the place, taking orders, helping with pastries, and trying to manage the chaos. John felt the stress in the air. Mike was working tirelessly, while Tom just directed from a distance. As he observed, he saw the strain on Mike's face. His hands were cracked, and his posture slouched from exhaustion. John wanted to step in, but he held back for now, needing to witness more. By noon, the tension was palpable. John watched as Tom yelled at Ethan, a young worker, for being too slow. "Pick up the pace, or I'll find someone else to replace you," Tom shouted. Ethan's face went pale, and his hands trembled as he fumbled with the tray of pastries. John clenched his jaw but stayed silent. He knew he needed more information before acting. Later in the day, as John walked through the bakery carrying a tray of croissants, he heard quiet sobbing coming from the storage room. He stopped and peeked around the corner. He saw Mike sitting on an overturned crate, his face buried in his hands. "Mike?" John said softly, stepping closer. Mike quickly wiped his eyes and tried to compose himself. "Sorry," Mike mumbled, looking up. "Just give me a minute." John crouched down beside him. "What's going on? You okay?" Mike sighed heavily. "I've been working double shifts because we're understaffed. Tom keeps piling more on me. I asked for a day off, and he told me that if I couldn't handle it, I should quit. But I can't afford to quit. I need this job." John's chest tightened. This wasn't the company he had built. It was supposed to be a place where people were valued. John knew right then that something had to change. The next morning, John returned early, wanting to observe the bakery without the rush of customers. Mike was already at the counter, prepping the pastries with tired eyes. "You're here early," Mike said, glancing up. John nodded, tying on his apron. "Just wanted to get ahead of the rush." As the morning progressed, John continued to notice the same issues. Mike was running everything, while Tom barely helped. At one point, John asked, "How does this place stay afloat when you're running everything?" Mike replied with a bitter laugh. "People burn out. Some leave, some get pushed out. Tom's been here for years and knows how to make things look good on paper. Corporate doesn't care about what happens behind the scenes." John felt his anger building. This was much worse than he thought. He had trusted Tom to maintain the culture of his company, but Tom had failed miserably. John knew then that he had to take action. That afternoon, John couldn't wait any longer. He needed to confront Tom. He found him behind the counter, barking orders at the employees again. "Tom," John said, his voice calm but firm, "this isn't working. The staff is drowning, and you're just making it worse." Tom turned and scowled. "Who do you think you are telling me how to run this store?" "I'm the CEO," John said, meeting his gaze. "And I'm telling you, you're done here." Tom's eyes widened. What? No, you can't. I've seen enough, John interrupted. You're fired, effective immediately. I'll ensure you receive your final paycheck, but you won't be working here anymore. Tom's face turned red with rage, but John didn't back down. He turned and walked away, leaving Tom speechless. The next morning, John returned to the bakery, not undercover this time, but as himself. He walked in wearing a tailored suit and greeted Mike, who was now looking a bit more refreshed. You're back, Mike said, his tired smile replaced by a glimmer of hope. Things have been better since Tom left. John nodded. I've been thinking about how to make this right. Starting today, I'm promoting you to assistant manager. You've earned it. Mike's eyes widened. Really? You're serious? I'm serious, John said, and we're bringing in a new manager who will support you and the team. John spent the rest of the day speaking to the staff, making it clear that the culture was about to change. There would be better staffing, better schedules, and a supportive environment where people could thrive. 2 weeks later, John visited the bakery again. The atmosphere was completely different. Mike, now more confident in his new role, was working alongside a new manager named David, who had been hired to bring structure and support to the team. The bakery was calmer, with employees working together to manage the morning rush. John watched from the back of the shop, smiling as he saw how the changes had taken root. The bakery was no longer a place of stress and tension. It had become a place where people felt valued. As John walked out of the bakery, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Baker's Haven wasn't just about making great pastries anymore. It was about creating a culture where people mattered. And for the first time in a long while, John felt like he was truly leading the company in the right direction. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.